Let's be honest, job searching in 2026 feels less like an opportunity and more like a humiliation ritual. And if you felt that, you're not crazy. Now, what it used to be was there was a time when applying for a job meant something. You talked to a human, you had real conversations, and you either got a yes or a no. Simple, respectful, clear. What is it now? Well, a lot of us have been experiencing the whole black hole resume fiasco. What I mean by that is you upload your resume into a quote unquote black hole. You answer personality questions or quizzes that are written by algorithms, and you tailor cover letters and nobody even reads them. And most of the time you get silence. No rejection, no feedback, just ghosting. Just ghosting. Now, I applied for a few jobs over the last week or so. Since the new year, I've been actively hunting for a new job, more specifically a sales job mainly in pest control. So I did have 2 job interviews the last week. Actually, I had 3. But the first 2 that I had they were for pest control companies for sale reps. And the first one I had, the job listing had salary negotiable, like in the description of the job, right? So I was expecting to be able to negotiate this because the price range was from $35K up to $100K. So yeah, a very big price gap here, which, is another thing for another video. But yeah, so, we talked, we interviewed, everything sounded good until she got to now these sale positions, they're base plus commission. So the base pay was $35,000, and that's what I meant by salary negotiable. Is a lot of these jobs, they're base plus commission. So the salary is your base, and then the commission is its own separate thing. So we got to the base part, and she said, we start at $35,000. She went over a few more things, and then, she was like, okay, so, do you want to, can we set up an interview? And then I was just like, yeah, with my, the fact that I have sales experience and pest control experience, and I'm also certified and have multiple certifications in pest control, the base salary of $35K is just a little low for me. I was, would like a little bit more. And then, of course she goes into the spiel about how, oh, well, it's just more of a safety net for you. And, you make most of the money in the commissions. And I'm like, okay, well, how much will you net? What is my target for the first year? And she was like, well, you'll make around 55 to 60K for the first year. And I was like, yeah, this isn't going to work for me. So I appreciate the opportunity. I was very respectful and nice, but I was just honest with her, and I'm just like, it's not enough money. And she was like, okay, well, if you change your mind, let us know. And, that was that. But there was no negotiating, right? And I don't know why they put it was negotiable, because it clearly wasn't. And yeah, now some of you guys might think 55 to 60K is a lot, but I made more than that last year at being a technician. And remind you guys, I live in New Jersey, which is one of the most expensive states in America. Okay, so yeah, 55, 60K when I'm supporting a family, that's not really a lot of money. Okay, especially when I'm going to be taking a pay cut. Now I'm expecting to take a pay cut in the base. That's not the problem that I have. It's just the fact of, there's no negotiating, right? They throw this low amount out there, and it's to whoever wants it. And this is why it feels humiliating, because it was a similar thing with the other interview that I had as well. The third interview that I had, I'm still waiting for more confirmation, because it was one of these weird, I had a little briefing call, and I have to actually talk to the branch that I'm supposed to go interview at. So I don't know about that one yet. But the second one was $36,000 base salary. And they didn't say it was negotiable in the job description, but, I just told them it's too low. And this is what you guys have to start doing as well. Don't just ghost these places. Don't just say it's not going to work for me. Tell them why. Tell them your pay is too low. Tell them this. Because, again, why it feels humiliating is you're not just applying for work. You're asking for permission to survive, because they throw these little low amounts out here, and they're going to just, whoever's going to take it, they'll find someone to take it. Instead of paying a little bit more for someone that might be a little bit more qualified and doesn't have to go through a learning curve, and that's someone that has experience, someone that has the knowledge of whatever job it might be, they don't want to pay anymore. They'd rather just pay the lowest amount possible and just get anyone off the street. And then they'll say, oh, well, no one wants to work. No, actually, nobody wants to pay. No one wants to work for pennies, especially when you're just starting out. I completely understand it. But when you get in this position where, you have experience, you have knowledge, you should be able to make a little bit more money, okay? And this is something that, college doesn't tell you this, but it's hilarious because the price of college, the price of schooling keeps rising, but the value of the degree keeps decreasing for two reasons. One, because AI is taking over and value is correlated to the difficulty of achieving something. Now, getting a degree is not that difficult anymore because everyone just uses AI. So that's going to lower the value. And of course, the more people that come in, that are going to school, whether it's women or immigrants or whoever, it's the more people that are having degrees, it makes them less valuable. But the price is going up. So you're getting wrecked there, but then you're also getting double wrecked because they also don't prepare you for, oh yeah, by the way, the wages aren't keeping up with inflation. So yeah, you're also not going to get paid very much. You're just going to get paid just enough to survive, but not enough to be able to outbeat inflation. You'll have to get a second job, maybe even a third job, and it's just going to be some, cruddy DoorDash or some waiter type job. Not disrespecting anyone that does those jobs. I do DoorDash. I worked at Target last year. But what I'm saying is it has nothing to do with what you actually went to school for. It's nothing what your career is for. You just have to get this other job so you can survive, or maybe just so you can at least have a little bit of extra money to be able to save or invest or whatever you want to do. Okay? And, you're proving your worth over and over to systems that don't see you as a person. And you're constantly jumping through hoops. You smile in interviews. You perform, you're enthusiastic, all for just basic stability, right? This is just to survive, and at my other company, when I had an opportunity to get into sales, I had the best sales numbers out of all the technicians. I trained someone that also did very good in sales. I was hyped up. Every time my boss would see me, he would hype me up. He told other people about, new hires, he would tell them, he would brag about how much money or how great I was doing in sales. And then when the time comes, I interview, he is blown away by the interview. He tells my team lead that he was shocked with how great my interview went. He was most likely going to give me the sales job, but instead he gave it to somebody else. And his reasoning was because he did sales at another company for 10 years or whatever, even though I had better sales numbers than him. And he also used my daughter as an excuse. So, he doesn't want me getting home super late because where he wanted to expand in a territory was a little further from my home. So, he was like, oh yeah, I don't want you getting home too late for your daughter. It was BS. It was just total BS, and it was kind of blindsided me, and I was pretty pissed off. I have videos about that as well when it happened about a year ago now, actually. The toll, it wears on people, right? The toll it takes on people, it's a lot, and it makes good men doubt themselves, and it makes capable people feel disposable. And I'm not going to lie to you. If I'm being honest, I do feel that way sometimes. And it's it sucks because it just feels like I'm making progress, but I'm not going anywhere, if that makes sense. Especially with the, how expensive everything is. And it's I'm making more money every year, but I'm not getting ahead. And I think that's it's a big problem for me. And I know a lot of other people feel this way and that are in this situation. And it's very frustrating. And it can take a toll on you. And it's not because they are, but because the process treats them that way, right? Not because we're disposable or not because we doubt ourselves. It's because the system is And again, I hate to sound like a victim, but it's the reality of it. And listen, there are some good jobs out there, and if you got lucky and you got blessed with a great job that rewards hard work and that will promote from within, because also you're getting triple wrecked, which I didn't mention earlier, is they also don't tell you in school that if you're too good at your job, they also won't promote you, because think about this. They don't want to, because if they're going to promote you, they have to now fill your position. And if you were that great at that position, it's going to be hard to fill your shoes. So they rather just hire from somewhere else, like out of the company, or a less qualified person at your position, so they're easier to replace. So you also get triple wrecked in that perspective as well. And the truth is, the part that no one wants to say, that it's not about you. The system is built for volume, not dignity, not humanity. And as we're getting more into technology and AI, it's only going to get worse. And if you're feeling drained, it's because you're sane, not because you're failing. How to adapt? Well, so you might ask, what do you do now? Right? What I would do, and what I'm currently doing, and I'm still going to be applying for jobs. I'm still trying to just make other things happen with the YouTube channel and whatever else I'm trying to do. Learning skills myself, like AI. I'm trying to get into AI automation. But you have to stop begging systems to choose you. You have to build skills that create leverage. You network like a human, not an applicant. You create options so no one doesn't define you, because that is, especially more, I think, with the tech jobs and everything. When you guys are applying, there's bots, there's just AIs that are talking to each other. And, a lot of times you don't even get to speak to people. So I guess I'm kind of lucky that I even got to speak to people and got to interviews, because I know a lot of people will apply hundreds, even thousands, just to get one interview. So I guess I'm lucky in that regard. But yeah, just don't let a broken job market convince you that you're broken. Your worth isn't measured by application portals, okay? And your future won't be built by waiting for permission. So I hope this helped. Please leave your comments, thoughts, your personal experiences with the job market in 2026 and you job hunting down below. And hope you enjoyed this video, and hope to see you in the next one. Peace.